people are all around the world, not necessarily in Kuwait, although I would love to come visit Kuwait, but what can we do?
There are ways to help, of course, not just to me, to other rescues, shelters or whatnot. Of course, the first thing is helping us with donations, covering costs. It's extremely costly, especially in Kuwait. We don't have any government support. We don't have shelters like the States. You can support us on social media by sharing our work with other people. Do some research and learn how to foster or learn how to ATNR or even learn the benefits of spaying and neutering. It's the small changes that you make, even education, spreading awareness about what's going on and the realities of rescue in Kuwait or wherever you're from. It's really important.
So if somebody who is watching this right now is one of those people who says, no, why neuter, why spay the animals, it's unnatural, what would you say to them? How would you explain the importance of doing this?
So aside from the benefits, the health benefits that come with it, for example, males typically, when they're not neutered, they tend to spray. They're like obsessed with spraying their urine everywhere. So they will go in every corner of your house, I guarantee you, and make sure, he's waiting for the ladies to come with that smell. And trust me, it does not smell good. Okay, we're not cats. It smells like absolute. Yeah. So there's that, like eliminating behaviors like that. And they're always restless. Same thing with the females. When they go into heat, they're restless. Sometimes they even scream. Like there's a mating call that's,
Is
not
that
the best.
The sound that sounds like children screaming?
Yes, that's
terrifying. That is so creepy.
The first time I ever heard it, I was so freaked out as a kid. And they're under a lot of stress because, like we stated earlier, these, cats and dogs and animals, they don't see reproduction the same as we do. It's completely different. With them, it's an instinct. It's a job that needs to be done, and that's it. There's no, don't look too deep into it type of thing. So you eliminate even cancer. I think females are more susceptible to getting certain specific cancers, and it lowers the risk if you spay the females. Anyways, aside from that, something that's really important is that you guys need to keep in mind the amount of animals that are dying on the streets. If you live in America or other countries that have shelters, the amount of the millions of cats and dogs that are being euthanized every single year in shelters in the States. In our case, it's even worse. We don't even have shelters to euthanize them. When it comes to, shelters in America, there's always a stigma when it comes to kill shelters. Like I'll never support kill shelters. What they do is so sick and this. No, you should support kill shelters. And when I say that, I don't say it in a way that you think that I'm saying it. These shelters cannot say no to any animal that they receive. And they don't have the space and the resources, to take in every single animal. It's impossible. So they have no choice. What are you going to do? Throw them on the streets to let them die slowly? Euthanasia is, it's not like they want to euthanize. No one gets pleasure in this. No one wants to euthanize an animal. But this is the reality. This is what's happening. In Kuwait, it's even worse. We don't even have shelters to euthanize. Instead, they die on the streets a slow, horrible death, and they suffer. Whether it's a heat stroke, because people dump their animals here a lot, whether it's starvation, whether it's viruses, disease, you name it, okay? And, for the people in Kuwait that say, this isn't a common thing that happens, I guarantee you, once you start opening your eyes, you will see it in every corner, the suffering that these poor cats and dogs go through on a daily basis. So why get more animals into this world? Why? For every dog you buy, another cat or dog suffers. Instead of buying a dog, you can rescue an animal that needs a home.
Definitely.
Because for them, they don't have a choice. They need our help. And a lot of people don't realize that. And look at myself. I'm not perfect. Winston was not rescued. My dog Leah, she's going to be 10 this year. She wasn't rescued. Yeah, there's a lot of misconceptions of rescue animals, and there's also a lack of education. Would I have made the same? It's not like I regret, of course, getting Winston and Leah. But for example, if I know the information that I do now, would I make the same decision again? Absolutely not. Absolutely. I would never buy or support any sort of breeder, whether it's a certified breeder or a backyard breeder, in my opinion. And in Kuwait especially, unfortunately, we have a trend that's always been around of dumping your pets on the streets. It's something unreal, Amira, like unreal.
Mm-hmm.
Unreal.
But you know what? I don't know. Sorry, I don't know the intensity of it over there, but it happens here too. You hear horror stories like towards the summer when people are on their way, they want to go on holiday and they take their dogs or their cats to the forest, leave them there, just tie them to a bridge. It's heartbreaking. So sadly, I feel like this is, I don't understand how, like with what humanity do you do that? And how can you, because another thing, which is connected to another thing I wanted us to talk about. So many people who say it's just an animal. I don't understand that. Like my cats are not, to me, they're not animals. They're my children. I talk to them. They're my everything. So I don't understand how, because in my mind, when you have a pet, you form a bond with that pet. And I don't understand how you can look them in the eye and be like, okay, I'm going to tie you to a bridge now and I'm leaving.
Definitely, I feel like there's a lack of education. I can't speak for, Luxembourg, but I can speak for, Arab countries. I would say it's kind of a cultural thing in a way to kind of view animals as more of like accessories in a way, or like more of like less than human beings, basically, rather than actual beings that are capable of love and attachment and loyalty. And they think like khalas, like like let me just throw them on the streets, yeah, whatever. Like, do you think they understand what it's like? And there needs to be education with parents teaching their kids. And there's also education in schools that needs to be done on how to care for animals. And Kuwait is a Muslim country. If you want to like talk about religion, okay, in Kuwait, I'm pretty sure that there's a hadith that says that like a woman went to hell for like either not feeding a cat, or I think it was like locking the cat up.
Mm-hmm.
The point is, Islam does not condone animal abuse, animal neglect, nothing of that sort. This is not what Islam stands for. Tying a dog out in your hosh, in your backyard, okay, is not a way of living, okay?
No, and especially to go back to the fact that the climate over there is not like the climate in other places.
But what if I build a small AC room for my dog? I'm sorry, but in my opinion, it doesn't meet the emotional and physical needs of a dog.
No.
A dog needs to be around their people.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be interaction. There needs to be a sense of belonging. Yeah. It's not healthy to keep a dog in a small room their entire life to make yourself feel better.
But so often it is for people's selfish needs.
Yeah, please do not put the animal through this.
Mm-hmm.
Do not put them through this.
Absolutely. And I think you put it really well in that an animal is not an accessory. It's not like a handbag that you wear for a season and then throw out. It's a commitment. And it's also, I feel like often with children as well, they say, oh, I want a dog, I want a dog, I want a cat. And then it's like a gift. And then, a child is only entertained for so long, and then it's neglected, and that's not the way either. It's a lifetime commitment. It is a family member. And Laila, something I ask everybody, what is the dream?
I think the dream when it comes to animals, of course, like not having the day that cats and dogs are not dying because of homelessness or being euthanized at shelters. I think that's really important. People being more aware of spaying and neutering.
Yeah.
Having TNR programs in Kuwait is very important. Mm-hmm. TNR stands for Trap, Neuter, Return, and it tries to manage the population of cats.
You say that there are so many stray cats on the streets. Do they get food?
Some people feed, some people don't. And then when you do feed, they start multiplying because you keep feeding. And then once they multiply, the neighbors are going to get pissed. And then once the neighbors are going to get pissed, they're going to poison them. No joke, poison them. I literally met a guy yesterday. Okay. He said that a couple of weeks ago, his dogs got poisoned at one of the public gardens.
But you know, here every now and then you see posts on like Facebook or social media warning dog owners because some sick people take pieces of sausage and they put nails in there, nails and like needles and God knows what, and they just leave them. Anybody, honestly, people who harm or hurt animals, these are not humans. Innocent animals who can't speak for themselves or defend themselves. They are just there and they think they find a piece of sausage and they get a nail in their gut. That's sick. That's sick on a whole level.
It's one thing to be uneducated, okay, and not care.
Yeah.
There's another thing where you like literally go out of your way to like harm an animal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's like a whole other level. And I feel like people here need to understand that there is a direct correlation between people who abuse animals and the likelihood of them harming humans and posing a threat to humans.
I fully
there are studies. Look it up, guys. It's a real thing. You don't care about animals, okay? Care about the people around you. They need to be held accountable, okay? And get help because it's not okay in any way possible. Something more towards rescue in general. And I actually originally wanted to talk about this. And yesterday was, I don't know if you know what Cat Camp is, but it's like this virtual, because of Corona, it's this virtual event that teaches you about, like they have fun activities and classes about rescuing. It's a very, very nice community, amazing people that run it. And, you know, there was a segment, there was like a conversation that a few rescuers were having that hit home. And, you know, 100 million% true. And I feel like people need to listen to this. If you are thinking of rescuing, or if you are a rescuer, being a rescuer does not mean ruining your life to rescue. You don't have to take every single cat or dog on the streets. You don't have to feel guilty for saying, no, I can't do this. I don't have, no matter what the reason is, whether it's you're, you know, drained mentally, you don't have space, you have a job, whatever it is, okay? It needs to be said, especially in Kuwait, you know. The rescue community is great, but also, you know, whoever wants to get into it here, just know you don't need to take in every animal. You don't need to have a house with 50 rescues, you know, cramped up. You don't need to feel like a bad person for saying no. To be honest with me, I'm not the type of rescuer that can, even if I wanted to, I can't take a lot of animals in. First of all, I know that I sound old, but I'm still young. I'm 25. I barely started my career. I need to make money. You know, I need to start my life. If I continue to take in these animals continuously, so many, and drain myself, how am I going to take care of myself?
Of course.
And in the long run, how am I going to take care of the animals? Like people need to see it as a long-term thing. Which is very important. It's not, oh my God, I'm going to take a lot of animals and then burn out. And no, take, you know, help as many as you can. And it doesn't even have to be, by the way, rescuing. It can, someone said something really important yesterday in Cat Camp. They said, even if it's, you know, spaying your cat is something great.
So like everybody playing their part and doing what they can. And being proud and happy about that instead of thinking always like, what more can I do? It's not enough. Thinking that I'm doing something and that already has a part to play.
Even if you take in a litter, if you can take in a litter of kittens every summer, that's fine. Don't feel bad. I beat myself up a lot. You know, I can only take in a few at a time. Even you don't need fancy equipment or areas to foster. I spent, you know, so much time fostering kittens in literally a bathtub. I'm not joking.
Okay.
A bathtub. perfectly fine. They're happy. They're adopted. You have a spare room. You have a closet. You don't need anything fancy, like a fancy kitchen room that you see on social media, for example, to rescue, okay? Or incubators, for example. Like the only reason why I invested in one is because I constantly take in neonates. It's just more convenient for me over time. But you don't need to have it. You don't need to have it to foster orphan kittens. As long as you have a heat source, you don't need anything fancy. Don't go too hard on yourself. Do what you can. So don't beat yourself up if you can't help every animal you see. It's not a competition. It's not a competition. It's not, how many animals do you have in your house? And then, you make judgments because of that.
No.
And even if they judge you, you shouldn't care about that. Care about your mental health, because you cannot save animals if your mental health is shit. And it's
true.
Mental health and compassion fatigue is such a important subject because we are known to be overworked and depressed because of the stuff that we see and traumatized and the stuff that we deal with every day. Don't let other people judge you because of that. Try to give back to the community in any way that you can. Focus also on the well-being of the animals as well. Like how hygienic is it, let's say, to take in all these animals in such a small place. Your intentions are great, but you also need to focus on every individual animal and care for their needs. And there's a lot of viruses like panleukopenia in dogs, parvo, that are extremely contagious. If you can't do it, then don't do it.
That's a very good point, actually, and it's true.
Yeah.
And I feel like when you're talking about the people judging you, I think people will judge you no matter what you do. So that's
exactly
why, connected to what you said before, you shouldn't care. Don't care what people say. Don't care about their judgments. Just do what you can do and be happy with that. And it goes in every context, in all contexts of life. Mental health is a priority. It should be a priority. Very, very important topic, definitely.
Yeah, and like rescuers, like it's already hard enough. Like you said, you can't run away from judgment. You can't run away from like the comments, for example. You can be literally the most perfect rescuer ever. There's no such thing, but let's say, and you still get criticized.
Yeah.
You can, for anything. People always have stuff to say.
Of course.
Try to follow your gut.
When you're in the public eye, they will ignore the 99.999% of positive content and focus on the tiny speck of something that can be misconstrued into something negative, and that's where the focus will be. That's how it is with social media, with I feel like with life in general.
100%. Aside from the stuff that we post, not everything that rescuers post on social media, like that's the only thing that goes on. There's a lot of stuff that happens behind the scenes that you guys don't know about. I don't tell you guys, for example, that I saw a dumped kitten that you saw, that's dead, for example. Like that's something, by the way, that you see a lot here. A lot of dumped pets, a lot of abuse, a lot of neglect. So there's a lot more that goes on from the stuff that we choose to share. So you guys should also keep that in mind, guys. Yeah. Also, another way that you guys can, if you guys want to support, my rescue in any way, I do sell shirts.
Okay.
With some cool designs. It's in my bio. And especially the bonfire ones, like the quality is just amazing. Like I live in mine 24/7. I recommend that if you want to get anything, you should get that for sure. Yeah, that's something that I need to point out as well. Thank you for listening to me, hearing Winston's story, being the first person that I can openly talk to about, what happened in the end with Winston and the case, and I really appreciate it. So thank you for giving me a voice in your amazing channel. I appreciate, everything. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And it means so much to me that you would choose Same But Different to open up and to give us this update. And it means a lot to me because it's a story that needs to be shared, and it's a huge trauma. And it's such an amazing thing that you are doing now, rescuing these kittens. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you, and a great talk. So thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
Her name is Leah.
Hi, Leah.
Leah's camera shy.
Oh, Leah, you're so beautiful. My goodness, look at that face. Hi. Oh, hi. How cute are you?
She's gonna be 10 in July.
Oh my goodness, but you are so adorable. Look at those eyes.
Right. She's so cute.
Isn't that right?
Exactly. She agrees. She's like this, she agrees. Yes.
Yes. So guys, thank you so much for watching. We thank Laila, we thank Leah as well for her cameo. Thank you so much for watching. Please guys, hit that subscribe button for more content, for more Same But Different. And I'm going to leave all the links for Laila's pages, so please follow her as well and save the animals. Thank you so much, guys.
Definitely hit the subscribe button. Amira has, you know, the most interesting, amazing content, and it's so important to support people who just started out, whether it's YouTube, rescue, whatever. It's so important, you know. Definitely. And 100%. Thank you for everything that you do. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Okay. Yeah. Bye. Thank you, guys.